Shannon, who do you think wins this Game 6, and what's the score?
I'm going to say the Warriors close it out, but I think it's going to be close. What the Warriors have done is they've allowed, in the last two games, they've allowed the Grizzlies, Skip, to get more. They're already a confident team, but they've gotten more and more confident. And they probably should have won, Game 4. They probably should have won that ball game.
I agree.
But they didn't execute down the stretch, and we know the Warriors get you in that situation, they're going to execute. But Game 5, they came out and says, nah, 38 points? You can't give up 38 points in a quarter. You can't give up 77 points in a half and expect to win.
They were down 55 points.
55 points. So that just tells Skip, but I don't expect Clay. I don't expect Steph. I don't expect Jordan Poole to shoot as bad as they did. But it's not about shooting. You can shoot good, but you better not let this other team get 77 points in a half. I mean, you give up 38 points in the first quarter. They have 39 points in the second quarter, and you expect to win?
It just kept going up.
Going up, and up. But I expect them to close this ball game out. You do not want to get on a plane and take your butt back down to Memphis on Sunday for Game 7. You're asking for trouble. And normally they're very good in these situations. Last game notwithstanding, I expect them to play better. I expect them to defend better. Now, Steven Adams is a load. You might want to think about starting Kevon Looney to help have somebody box his big butt out.
I believe that Steve Kerr will make that switch. It'll be like an Iguodala switch in the finals back in 2015.
Because you need somebody to bang and keep his big butt off the board, Skip. Because this was the first game that the Warriors actually got out-rebounded. They play that depth lineup. That's a small team, shoot a bunch of threes. The ball's going all over the place. It's not carrying me like it normally when guys are shooting short shots. It's going to fall up under the rim. Ball's going to be all over the place. But Steven Adams was a load. He gave you a bunch of offensive rebounds, and they were making their threes. You said you wanted to see Desmond Bane. Hell, everybody showed up. Jaren Jackson 3, he showed, J3, he showed up, making threes from 28 feet, 30 feet away. I'm going to say the Warriors win 114-105.
Oh,
I'm going to need them to cover.
You got the Warriors to cover?
Yeah, I'm going to got them to cover.
Really?
You got them to cover.
So it's 8 is the spread.
So I'm going to say they win by 9.
Okay, will you give me Memphis an 8?
Nope, I will give you Memphis straight up. We don't do points.
What are you talking about?
You Vegas now.
You just went on the record and said it was a 9-point game. How much do you trust? It's Steph and Clay and Draymond. Remember what Draymond said early in the series? We're not the Timberwolves, right?
So you run a gambling house,
Yeah,
huh?
remember what? No. Do you remember what Draymond said early on? I feel very comfortable against them. Very comfortable because we are so much more experienced than they are. And also, let me ask you this, Mr. Hall of Famer. What if the roles were reversed? What if Memphis had Ja and Golden State didn't have Steph? He's their best player. This is Ja.
I would definitely take Memphis.
Okay, you would. So again, you've gained respect for Memphis. They don't have their best player, right?
Yeah.
So without their best player, I'm willing to take the 8 points.
But I've seen them play so many games without their best player and be on the winning side. So they're comfortable playing. And Tyus Jones, although he's not as explosive, he's more of a stabilizer. He's more of a facilitator. He can make the three. And he got hot from three. Well, hell, everybody got hot from three because seemingly they couldn't, because they set a franchise record from the three-point line. So, no, I'm not giving you no 8 points.
Okay. I am not going to pick Memphis to win this game because I do not want to jinx Memphis on live national television. Would I love to see Memphis win this game? You better believe it. I might love it more than anything this side of the Dallas Cowboys to love because it would be delicious to see a Game 7 back in Memphis, and I'm not sure they could win it without Ja, unless maybe he made a miraculous recovery, which is still possible. I don't know. They basically ruled him out, but not completely ruled him out. All right. But I do think it's going to be a very close game. I'm going to call it 105-102. I'll pick Golden State, but I'm going to remind you, the clues along the trail say it's going to be a close game. The clues started in Game 1 when, at home, Memphis had 2 late chances to win the game. Just to remind everybody, because it seems like it was ages ago, Ja had the ball in his hands twice late with chances to win the basketball game. And the first time, if we could see this, he goes in on Steph Curry, and Steph made a sweet little hand play on it. They gave him a block. It was more of a steal. It's like he knocked the ball out of his hands more than he blocked it to me, because he wasn't really ready to go up and shoot, but he made a play. He stood his ground, and he got his hand on the basketball and
locked him up.
He knocked it free. Okay, so that's the first one. And then we all do remember the last one, because Ja said, I got this. We always called the sideline play, Ja, just go get a bucket. So he tried to go get a bucket, and Clay knew exactly, because they said in their sideline huddle, they told Clay, he's just going to come flying left-handed down the lane, because he wants to go to his left, and try to move him out as far as you can. And Clay got in his way and pushed him too far out. And the ball didn't even touch iron. It touched nothing but glass.
Clay was so convinced that he was going to do that, he left Brandon Clark immediately.
He did, left him.
If John throws it back...
The easy second guess, which I did that next day, is just
throw it back to Brandon Clark, and he dunks
it. Hook pass it. Just hook pass it. He's going to dunk it, because Wiggins was standing under the bucket, flat-footed. He's just going to dunk it on him. Okay, so that's game one. But it was what you would, I think we could agree, it was a narrow loss, right?
Yes.
Grizzlies took over and won convincingly in game two. Then Dylan Brooks is suspended for game three. It took the life and heart out of Memphis, and they go out there, and I predicted it to be a 25-point Golden State win, and they won by 30, right? Now to the fateful game four that you referred to. It's nip-tuck. Grizzlies have a lead of 12 with 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
And then it's back and forth, totter down the stretch.
They had a lead with 40 seconds left.
They did. And the play of the game happens with 25 seconds left. If we could remind everybody how Memphis got screwed on this play, they call a push in the back by Desmond Bane right here. He didn't touch him. He
Still sold it.
Maybe the fingertips touched him.
That was nothing.
And Steph flopped completely out of bounds. He goes flying completely out of bounds, leaves the ball for Desmond Bane, who, by the way, just laid it right back in. Okay? When you call the wrong call on that, the bogus flop call, the foul call, do you realize Memphis was about to be up one? If you don't call that and you give Desmond Bane the bucket, they're going to be up one with 25 seconds left. I kind of like my chances. Instead, Steph gets to march down to the other end and make 2 free throws, which he did. And all of a sudden, it's a 4-point swing, because from Memphis up 1, it goes to Golden State up 3. And that basically was the end of it.
Yes.
Okay? So it turns on one bad call. Well, I think we would agree. It's a narrow loss, right?
Yes.
Okay? And then game 5, I'm going to reiterate this. I'm going to drive home this point. On the Golden State Warriors, Memphis held a 55-point lead. It's unfathomable.
It's crazy,
It's impossible. Who wouldn't have bet their life savings against that? Because you just can't do it.
Consider that just scored 30. They scored in game 4, Skip. They scored 38 in the first half. They come back in game 5, this game, and they scored 38 in the first quarter.
And they could do no wrong. And actually, Golden State came out fairly hot to me, because I'm obviously rooting for Memphis at that point. And I'm like, oh, God, Steph's got the hot hand tonight. It just wasn't enough, because the onslaught just overwhelmed them until they finally just waved the white flag at the end, and all the starters wind up on the bench.
Steph is shooting 32% from the 3. Clay is shooting 29%. That's worse than Russ.
It's worse than Russ, okay? So all I know is that Memphis without Ja won 20 of the first 22 games in the regular season. 20-2 they went without Ja, and then the last 3 games they lost. But the very last game, they didn't play any of their starters. Okay, so 20-2, so they gained some confidence that they can play. They look different without Ja, because he's ball dominant, obviously, but the ball's going to move, and they got lots of very young baby weapons, but they got a bunch of them, because Brandon Clark is coming off the bench, and Zaire Williams has been forced into the starting lineup, but he's a bench player. He's only 20 years old.
They're young. They're a young team, and they played without Ja. Skip, when you do something for such a long period of time, you get used to doing it. They've gotten used to playing without Ja. They have to play different, but that's okay. Because, like you said, Tyus Jones is a nice, settling, stabilizing force. He can make the 3. He's a true point guard, more of a facilitator than scorer, although he can score the basketball. But it's Steph and Clay. The whole thing that makes Golden State unique is their ability to let the 3 ball go and shoot it with accuracy. 32%. Steph Curry, if he shot 32%, he would not be known as the greatest shooter to ever live.
No.
I don't know. He's in Clay, 29%, under 30.
Okay, remember, during the regular season, this is after he set the all-time record.
Yeah,
he plummeted.
Yeah.
It's the first time in his career, his lengthy now career, that he was under 40%. Well, he had a hard time, and he's not shooting it with the conviction that he used to.
Right.
But look, all these games, in the end, I hate to say this, it's just three-point shooting contest. In the end, when you boil it all away, sometimes it's not, but mostly it is. So if Memphis can go in there and outshoot them from three just by depth, where they get 4 or 5 guys doing it.
Memphis needs to make about somewhere between 15 and 23.
I buy that. That's the only way you could do it, because that would put more and more pressure on Steph and Clay to have to get hotter and hotter.
Right.
And I don't think they would love that pressure. But I will say this. My final takeaway is conventional wisdom on this game would say that Steph and Clay and Draymond would come out tonight, heave a sigh, and say, okay, watch this.
Right.
And they would flex all of their DNA, as he says, our championship DNA muscles, and they would win convincingly. They would win more like they did in Game 3, which was a 30-point game. That's the conventional wisdom. That's what probably will happen.
Right.
But there's still this chance, when you look at the body of work in this series, that Memphis believes enough in Memphis that they're going to make this a close game.
You know Draymond already got the PA system queued up. As soon as they beat him, whip, dip, tree. You know it's coming.
Whoop, whoop.
You know it's coming, Skip.
Yep, he'll be doing the song. Yep, he'll be leading the charge. I would agree.